coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. Welcome to another fabulous live stream. We're going to be chopping it up, talking about Supergirl, my expectations of Supergirl, the movie, and just the future of DC, the DC universe. James Gunn, I feel like he's cooking in the kitchen. He's cooking in the kitchen. He's keeping a lot of what he wants, what he sees, particularly with the DC universe. He's keeping it under lock and key. He's keeping his cards close to his chest, and he's really not discussing nor talking about. Now, there have been leaks, there have been gossiping here and there, but nothing has been confirmed nor denied, particularly by James Gunn. So let's talk about it. Let's chop it up, folks. Okay, so let's talk about Supergirl. What I think about my expectations of Supergirl. I feel like Supergirl is going to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy type of movie where it's going to feature a lot of characters of the DC universe. We already heard about Lobo. He's going to be featured in this movie. There have been talks of other DC characters that I don't really want to talk about because it has not been confirmed nor denied. So let's just talk about the stuff that we do know, that we know that is set in stone, is not going to change. It's going to have Supergirl in it. It's going to have Crypto the dog. It's also going to have Lobo in it. So we'll just move forward on those characters. I feel like the Supergirl movie, I do feel like a lot of people out there are putting high expectations on Supergirl. They feel like Supergirl should be a triple A banger, okay? A summer blockbuster, okay? And people putting all these stipulations on Supergirl, talking about, well, if Supergirl don't make this type of money, if Supergirl isn't number one at the box office, if Supergirl don't get 90 or above from the critics, then it's a flop, okay? It bombed, okay? Let's be realistic out here, folks. First and foremost, Supergirl in the DC universe is not the most popular character in DC Comics. Now, if you believe that, then you're not a comic book lover. You have no idea, no clue on how these characters work. Supergirl was never her. She was never that guy. If you talk about female characters, particularly in the DC universe, a lot of people would choose Wonder Woman more popular than Supergirl. Wonder Woman identifies more to the casual audience out there. A lot of people know more about Wonder Woman. The casual audience know more about Wonder Woman than Supergirl. Okay. Now, yeah, I know Supergirl had a movie back in the 80s. She was featured in cartoons and things of that nature. But if you put Supergirl as this major character in the DC universe, you are sadly mistaken. It's not going to happen. So if you are a comic book lover, if you know anything about comics, Supergirl is not the most popular character in the DC universe. And I feel like that's harder to be more convincing and make a great movie with a character that's not that popular. Okay. So James Gunn got it's not like this is this is a freebie and this is easy and he can, make hundreds of millions of dollars because he's using the most popular character in the DC universe. He's actually using the least popular character in the DC universe. I say Supergirl and Plastic Man are two characters in the DC universe that are not extremely popular. Okay, hardcore fans know more about these characters. Maybe a few casual fans may know more about these characters, but then that's pretty much it. So to me, I think it's harder to make a movie with a character that no one identifies with. And the only reason why people identify with Supergirl or know who Supergirl is because of Superman. So a lot of people say, even people just come to the movies and go, well, who the hell is Supergirl? Well, she's got to be the love interest of Superman, right? She comes from the same planet as Superman, right? So people will identify with Supergirl that think they know Supergirl by saying, well, you heard of Superman? Well, then there's a Supergirl, okay? But when you read their stories, they have two different stories on how they came to Earth, and they just totally two different characters, okay? If you read the comic books, okay? But I know a lot of you guys are not going to read the comic books. But anywho, James Gunn is not like James Gunn. This is an easy task for him, okay? You know, it's not like you're making a Thor movie. Thor is pretty popular in Marvel. Captain America is pretty popular in Marvel. Spider-Man is extremely popular in Marvel. So for you to choose Supergirl as your next big movie from the DC universe, it's not going to be that easy. Okay, particularly with the least popular. She's one of the least popular characters in the DC universe. Okay, moving on. I do feel like this movie is going to be entertaining. I do feel like this movie is going to be extremely funny. And I already stated this in a video in a live stream on my other channel. I feel like Supergirl is going to be similar. If you had to say what hero movie you feel is going to be Supergirl going to be similar to, is Thor and Guardians. It's going to be a mixture of Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, it's going to be funny, zany. It's going to be action packed. And it's not going to have a serious undertone or a serious story behind it. Okay, I do feel like this movie will digest better. I do feel like this movie may be a little darker than the Superman movie, but if you've seen what James Gunn did with Superman, you know, he said he approached Superman very differently. He said, "Look, we already had the hardcore Superman. We had that Superman before with Henry Cavill, with a lot of people that put on the blue suit. However, Christopher Reeve's Superman, a lot of people, when you say who was the best Superman, a lot of people will vote Christopher Reeve Superman more higher than Henry Cavill. Now, I do feel like the majority of the of the population would choose Henry Cavill over Christopher Reeve, but it's not that close. I mean, it's extremely close between Christopher Reeves and Henry Cavill. I think them two did the best Superman. But if you look at those two movies, they're two different movies. One is real edgy, real hard. Um, Tough as nails type of movie, and the other one was, kind of casual, can be funny sometimes, doesn't really take itself seriously. And I felt like James Gunn said, you know what, we already had Henry Cavill play that particular Superman. Let's get a different Superman, and that's what he chose. And even though it didn't do the numbers people wanted to do, and it didn't blow out the box office and things of that nature, it still had a strong showing, and it still made some money, and it still got them to do other projects, particularly from the DC universe. So you got to give James Gunn some props on that as well. So yeah, I do feel like Supergirl movie is probably gonna be a little more edgier than Superman's movie. But I think it's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be entertaining. The effects are gonna be through the roof. It's gonna be action packed, and I feel like it's gonna be one of those. And also this movie is gonna play it safe. It's not going to go beyond the lines. Okay, they're gonna keep it straight and narrow, and they're gonna play it safe. They're not going to stretch it and make Supergirl into an unbelievable character like, she's this, she's that. They're going to stick to the script with Supergirl. And I think that's a good thing. So uh I also don't think Supergirl is going to dominate at the box office. Um, I think it's going to. I think a lot of people are going to watch the movie. I think the movie's going to make a lot of money. I think it's going to make its budget. I know it's going to probably make its budget, but any more than that, I don't think it's going to do more than that. But I still think it's gonna be a great movie. It's gonna be a great movie. I don't think it's gonna suck by any stretch of the imagination. Now, what does this mean for the future of DC Universe, James Gunn's DC Universe? I think it's with Supergirl, we're gonna start seeing uh pieces of the future and where they're probably going to lead. I don't think there's going to be a dark side mentioned or seen in this movie. I don't believe there's going to be a Justice League, but I do feel like it's going to point us in the right direction as far as the future of the DC universe. I think they'll go as far as that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how things turn out. I feel like it's going to be an average movie. I also feel like it's going to be a movie that's going to stick to the script. It's going to play it safe, and I also feel like this is going to give us a bookmark of the future of the DC universe, where we'll be talking about it until the next movie. I mean, and if you look at what other movies that's on the horizon or what they're going to be talking about, they got Clayface, the Clayface movie, and they started production on Batman 2. Uh, haven't had any type of conversations as far as those two projects go. But they're taking their time with the DC universe instead of like Zack Snyder trying to rush it through and put these timelines together. They're taking their time. So I feel like that's a good thing. I really do feel like it's a good thing. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today. If you are From fans, I will have some From news. Probably have it Friday, and we'll talk about the episode Monday or Tuesday. So guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Dude.